Okay, so now we're going to mix our epoxy. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you put gloves on. You don't want to get the resin on your hands, or even worse, on your wedding rings. It doesn't come out very well. The other thing that you're going to want to do is to have goggles. So that way you can make sure you protect your eyes. Now, we're in a very large workspace, and this is a very small piece. So oftentimes when we're pouring, I will wear an air mask respirator because I don't want to inhale the fumes. But for a project like this, it's just a singular item. I am able to avoid that today. So the first thing I'm going to do is to pour part A into this bucket, and I'm going to do that based on the measurements that we did earlier for the space. We had 27 ounces needed, and so we're going to round up to 30 to allow for seepage. It is 2 parts A, 1 part B. So I'm going to pour 20 ounces of part A into this first bucket. Now, you'll remember that we told you that we have those real ugly buckets that we use to mix, and we would normally mix A and B in that one bucket and not do any kind of a transfer. However, for the purposes of this video, we wanted to make sure that you could see everything clearly, so we're using these buckets. I have 20 ounces of A, and I'm going to now pour it into this bucket. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this scraper that's flat edged versus the one that you saw earlier that was curved for stirring, and I'm just going to scrape it out. You can see how much is actually coming out of this bucket as I scrape. If I didn't do this, then what would happen is my measurements for the ratio of 2 to 1 would be way off. Now, if you don't get every last little speck out, it's okay. But you want to do your best to get as much out as you can by scraping the sides if you have to use 2 buckets like we're using today. Okay, now that I've got this clean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure part B, and I'm actually going to use 10 ounces of that into this bucket. Then what I'll do is I will work to combine the two, and we will start our timer for mixing. Okay, and I've got B.